All right, so welcome back to Cornucopia, What's in the Box, Part 2. We still have two more forecasting cards left in the supply to go over. Here we go. So the next one is Horse Traders, and this is a pretty interesting action-reaction. You get a plus buy, you get plus 3 treasure, and then you discard 2 cards. So if you hold on to your estates, hold on to your estates, dudes. Hold on to your estates, discard a couple of estates, get 3 money and a buy. That's an awesome card as an action, for sure. But the reaction is also kind of interesting. When another player plays an attack card, you may set this aside from your hand. If you do, then at the start of your next turn, plus 1 card, and return this to your hand. That is awesome. So you'll get to get this back at the start of your next turn, plus an additional card. That's really cool. And if, somebody hits you like Militia, for instance, well, they made you discard down to 3 cards, right? Well, you're setting this aside from your hand, so now you're only discarding 1 card because of the Militia. You're down to 3 cards now. At the start of your next turn, you're going to get this back, plus 1 more card. So it's like the attack didn't even hurt you, because now you have 5 cards again. That is awesome. That is definitely an interesting way of doing things. And it's strategic, too, because, you could have a horrible hand, and it could be a couple of estates or a couple of coppers, and you'd be like, oh, let's just discard a copper and to react with Horse Traders, and then on my next turn I get Horse Traders back. Ooh, I just drew a silver. That's better than a copper, right? So, that's kind of interesting. Then we've got Tournament. All right, now this card is probably one of my most favorite cards in the whole expansion. This is an awesome, awesome forecasting card. And there are prizes involved with this card, so we'll have to go over them before we continue on with the 5 costing cards. So, with Tournament, you'll get plus 1 action. Then each player may reveal a province from his hand. If you do, discard it and gain a prize from the prize pile, or a duchy, putting it on top of your deck. If no one else does, plus 1 card and plus 1 treasure. So this is interesting. Each player may reveal a province from their hand. Let's say you're the only one that reveals a province from their hand. Okay? Well, you'll get a prize from the prize pile, or a duchy, and then you'll get to put it on top of your deck. And since you're the only person that revealed that province, then you also get to draw a card, and you get a treasure, which means you get to draw the card that you just gained. The prize that you just gained, you'll get to draw. And because this gives you an extra action, anyways, you'll then get to play it if it's an action card. That is awesome. That is sweet. And you get an additional treasure out of the deal. That's really cool. Now let's say you play this card and not even you reveals a province, meaning you don't reveal a province, your opponents, they don't reveal a province, then you still get the action, you still get the card, and you still get the treasure. That's pretty useful. Get a card, treasure, and an action. So that's still kind of useful in a way, even if you don't have a province yet. So this is still a pretty powerful card to have. But if somebody reveals a province from their hand, they block you from getting the card and the treasure. They don't block you from gaining a prize, they just block you from a card and a treasure. So if you have a province as well, then you'll still get a prize, but you're not going to get a card and you're not going to get a treasure. And if they block you on both accounts and you don't have a province anyway, then this is almost a wasted turn or a wasted card. The only good thing is that you still get an action. So it's not a complete waste. It just didn't do anything for you. It was a dud. Now, what are the 5 prizes? There are 5 prizes in this expansion for those tournaments. So that's kind of interesting. So let's go over them. First, we have Diadem, and this is a treasure that's going to give you 2 money every time, at least. And then when you play this, you'll get plus 1 treasure per unused action you have. Actions, not action cards. So, for those of you who are a village idiot, who just keep playing village after village after village after village, and at the end of your turn you have like 10 actions you never used, this is a powerful card for you guys, because now you get 2 treasure plus 10 more treasure because you had, 10 unused actions. So that is definitely useful if you're playing a lot of action cards that give you plus 2 actions. If you're continuously playing them, the Diadem is the best prize for you, for Village Idiots, for sure. And then you're no longer the Village Idiot with this card. But other than that, it's just good for 2 money like a silver. So it's not super useful, but it's not completely worthless either. And that's why originally I used to think, well, this was completely useless. But then I thought, well, what about those players who always have, like, they play 5 villages in a turn and that's all they play? Then they have all those actions. I'm thinking, oh, that's when this comes very powerful. Diadem. So even that has a use for those players. This is Followers. And this one is my most favorite prize you can receive. And it's an action attack. And prizes, there's only one of them. So if you're the player that gets the Diadem or you're the player that gets the Followers, no other player will be able to get those prizes from you, more than likely. So this one's going to allow you to draw 2 cards, and then you'll gain an estate. But then here's the cool thing. Each other player gains a curse, or for me it's a wasteland, and then discards down to 3 cards in hand. Wow. You get 2 cards, you get an estate, and then you get to attack your opponents with 2 attacks. That is a powerful card. And then if you were able to play this right after getting the tournament, even better, right? Whew! Awesome. Awesome card. Awesome prize. All right, so we still have 3 more prizes. Let's go over them because we still want to go over the rest of the cards in the expansion. Next we have the Princess. Yes, you could win the Princess as a prize. What does she do? Well, she's going to give you a plus buy. And then while this is in play, cards cost 2 less, but not less than 0. So that's okay. If you're not playing with a game like Highway, like Hinterlands that has Highway, or Intrigue has Bridge, that could be very useful. Or if you're not playing with Adventures and you're not playing with Bridge Troll, for instance, that could be a very useful card, depending on what's in the game. And, assuming there's no other cards that give you plus buys, etc., etc. That could still be very useful. Then we have the Trusty Steed. You get to choose 2 of these options. Plus 2 cards. Plus 2 actions. Plus 2 treasure. Gain 4 silvers. And then put your deck into your discard pile. The choices must be different. So that's awesome. Get 2 cards, 2 actions. No brainer, right? Or if you have a lot of extra actions left over, 2 cards, 2 treasure. Even better, right? If you still have tons of actions. And gaining 4 silvers could be useful too. Who knows? So, that's a pretty powerful card. All of these prizes have their uses. And then this is the last prize. Bag of Gold. You'll get an action for playing it, and then you gain a gold. Put it onto your deck. That is awesome. Every time you play it, you get to put a gold onto your deck. That is really cool. It means you'll get the gold, like, on your next turn, or that turn. That is awesome. That is definitely an awesome prize. So all 5 of these prizes have their uses, for sure. All right, let's continue on. We still got a few more to go over. We have a total of 5 costing cards in this expansion. And then we have 1 6 costing card, and that's all the cards left. So let's see if we can go through these. Okay, so we have the Hunting Party, and this is another one of my favorite cards in this expansion. It's going to give you a card, it's going to give you an action, and that's basic. Then you reveal your hand. Reveal cards from your deck until you reveal a card that isn't a duplicate of one in your hand. Put it into your hand and discard the rest. So this is another card that's going to reward you for a variety of cards. Wow, it's definitely one of my favorite cards. It's an awesome card. I've had a lot of fun with Hunting Party. And especially Menagerie, too. Then we have the Harvest. Now this one is so-so. But it's another card that rewards you for differently named cards. So that's another why this is an interesting card. So the Harvest will reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, then discard them, plus 1 treasure per differently named card revealed. And that could be very useful at times. Most of those top 4 cards could be victory cards. Who knows? And then you get treasure for them because maybe they had different names. You had an estate, you had a duchy, you had a province. Maybe the other one was a copper. You get 4 treasure. That could be useful. Of course, 4 is the max, but I don't think I've ever gotten 4. I think the most I've ever gotten is 3 treasure max from this card at any given time. But that's still kind of an interesting card. It's about the middle as cards go. Then we have the Jester. Here's another attack in this expansion. So this is the 4th attack in this expansion. A small expansion that has 4 attacks. Alright, so the Jester is going to give you 2 treasure, and then each other player discards the top card of his deck. If it's a victory card, he gains a curse, or for me it's a wasteland. Otherwise, either he gains a copy of the discarded card, or you do. Your choice. So that's interesting. I mean, the top card of the deck could be a victory card, so they're going to get a Wasteland or a Curse. Or the top card could be a gold, and then you could choose to gain the gold while they're discarding their gold. Or, the top card could be a copper, and they discard the copper, and then you choose to give them another copper. So that's a pretty cool card, and it's a very powerful attack card. All right, we have 2 cards left. So we just have just about enough time, I think, to finish them. All right, so this is Horn of Plenty, and this is another one of those so-so cards, but it rewards you for a variety. So what does it do? Well, first of all, it starts out at 0 treasure. When you play this, gain a card costing up to 1 treasure per differently named card you have in play, counting this. If it's a victory card, trash this. So if you had 8 differently named cards in play, and that is possible, and that has happened, you could gain a province with this, and then trash this. That is awesome. Very cool. And then if you just used it to gain treasure cards or action cards, really powerful ones, this is a very fun card to play with. So it's above so-so in my book, but it still has had times where it was so-so. But this is still a pretty fun card. Another card that rewards you for variety. And here's the last card, and this one also rewards you for variety. So we have Fairgrounds, and it's a 6 costing card, and this is worth 2 victory points for every 5 differently named cards in your deck, rounding down. So this could possibly give you 6 points easily if you have those prizes available in the game, and you get most of those prizes. That's one reason why you'd want to try to get all 5 prizes, because that would be 5 differently named cards just for them. That would be 2 points for having all of the prizes. That is awesome. So you can make this worth almost as much as a province, maybe even more, depending on what cards you're playing with, what expansions are played with this card. And, if you're playing with Black Market, well, I don't want to say the bad word, but I'm not going to, but, the game could just, go all loose. And you could have, this could be worth, 50 points at the end of the game or something like that. Alone because of all the cards you have from the black market. So, so this is an extremely powerful card depending on what's played with it. And I've had a lot of fun playing with Fairgrounds. And that's all the cards in the expansion. So why is this my favorite or third favorite expansion? Well, there's 4 attack cards in a very small expansion. Very small. Then I like the fact that this expansion rewards you for variety, like Fairgrounds rewards you for variety, Harvest does, Horn of Plenty does, Hunting Party does. Let's see here. Where is it? Menagerie, it also rewards you for variety as well. And even the Farming Village could technically rewards you for a good variety. And then even Jester would help out with that too in variety. So, that's one reason why I like this expansion so much. What's another thing that this game has besides attack cards? Well, it's got one of my most favorite attack cards ever, Followers. And it's got the prize pile, the tournament in its prize pile. None of the other cards have a prize pile. This is unique to this expansion. So that's another reason why I like this so much. Well, another reason why I might like this so much is because I like the card I replaced, and I like the nice little combination. These two go together well, and I like the fact that it adds an additional card to the Kingdom Card supply pile, so you could have 11 instead of 10. So that's another reason why I like this expansion so much. And so that's basically, I guess, and then, of course, this is probably one of my most favorite normal action cards there is, Menagerie, for more reasons than one, because I love animals. So, this is why I like this expansion so much, and why it's so high on my list as favorite. So, number 3, Dominion Cornucopia as my third favorite expansion. Thank you guys for watching.